Want to log everything I do? Sure, I can do that. This was almost 10 years ago. Contracting for a very large financial services provider. For some context, team manager was promoted to a new division. And the team, 8 of us working across 2 shifts to cover international as well. We're left with 2 team leaders. We'll call them Moron Boy and Passive Gal, to run the show until the new manager was hired. New MGR joined 6 months later. Or early, depending on perspective, and probably because of me. My job in a nutshell was to onboard new employees into all the required systems for their daily functions, as well as set up their email and AD accounts for server access, which was dumped on my lap a month into my job, because I had prior experience. So said Moron Boy. I didn't mind the email and AD because it's literally 2 minutes per account, and didn't affect my central function by more than 20 minutes a day. It'll make sense soon. And audits were 30 minutes a week. This all happened from a centrally shared mailbox. It's requests, so you can't determine how busy you are. On to the fun. Almost before the door hit the manager on the way out, Moron Boy and Passive Gal call us into a meeting room and states that we must do no less than 10 requests a day, all to be logged on their call logging system. And here's the contract amendments we must sign or be fired. Being a contractor, you'd think I would shut the hell up. But nope, I just can't do being kicked in the balls. So I piped up, I don't see how it's possible to guarantee 80 requests a day minimum for every team member to meet the requirement. Why not scalar the ticket count and see who did what? Quote. His face turned a deeper color and he shouts at me to mind my own business. I don't know what I am talking about. Cue my MC, which included calling my contract house manager. Sassy and funny gal explained what was happening, and after she could breath again from laughing so hard, she told me not to get her fired. I head back to my desk, knowing full well audits are about to start in a week, and I get multiple requests to make amendments on accounts to test Active Directory security. And lo, here it begins. I got an email 2 days later to prep for a massive test. I am tasked to amend nearly 6,000 accounts with new settings, and then change them back on request, with minimal impact to the users, during working hours. So I needed to do this quickly. Now, any tech worth his measure out there will know, Alma, see, anything is scriptable. I set it all up, called my mate at service desk, and here's the funny thing. He also has a script to log multiple tickets. Roll on D-Day. I take the auditor's call at 8 a.m. to make the change. I send the email to my desk mate, and he logs the tickets in a record 30 seconds. My mailbox booms with 6K open tickets. I run my script and 90 seconds later, bam, job done. I carried on with my core function. 3 hours later, auditor called me to Revert. I ran my second script. Everything back to normal. Called my mate to close the tickets. And a minute later my mailbox frazzled for a bit, getting 6K closure tickets. It's at this point I smile, sit back and start browsing all my meme sites. Yes, joys of AD control. I gave myself unrestricted internet access. A nice perk. Anywho, in less than an hour, Passive Gal comes to me to ask what's happening. I simply state that the contract amendment they forced on us clearly means I don't have to work for 200 days. So I'll be sitting here enjoying my time off, or I can do it from home. Either way, I'm ahead of the curve. She walks away and Moron Boy storms over, demanding I get back to work. I repeat what I said to Passive Gal. He spluttered for a while, and he huffs off. True to my word, I sat at my desk doing nothing. But sadly it didn't last 2 days before the head of the department called me in. After an initially aggressive start to the meeting on his part, I got to explain the sitch. I wasn't even to the good part and he drops his head into his palm. Calmly listens to the story. Asks me for a copy of the amendment. And thanks me for the time. 2 hours later he calls me back and asks me, with sassy and funny gal in the room, what would it take to GRT me back to work? I decided to keep it simple, formally retract the stupid amendment, and pay me out for the time spent on the audit, which is 600 days, as per the contract amendment. He blowfished for a few seconds. Agreed. And I left for the day. Wake up the next morning to a huge jump in my bank account, with an email confirming I'll be back in the office. Please. I am a man of my word. I was back at my desk, working as usual, and for some reason, moron boy and passive gal never came near me again, even when I shifted to another department. No less than 10 requests a day. The story doesn't add up. So you did 6,000 tickets in one day. Tomorrow's a new day. Time to do another 10 plus requests. Sweet. Edit. As this touches on tech tales from tech support, would love this. And give some of them ideas. D. Ferengi Rule of Acquisition number 17. A contract is a contract is a contract. But only between Ferengi. Meh. The contract said you have to no less than 10 per day. It didn't say you only had to do 10 per day. And pay me out for the time spent on the audit, which is 600 days. This is suspicious. Even if that's calendar days, that's still over a year and a half of wages. No company would pay that. They'd fire you and bring on the next person, who would be trained and effective in less than a year and a half.
Beautiful.
I barely know what you are writing about. And then the op woke up, executed and reported like a true BOFH. Well done. Genius. Super genius. From the likes of Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Lol. That made my day. Good one. Read through it 23 times just to catch all the joy. They paid you for 600 days of work, which is almost 2.5 years. Formally retract the stupid amendment. Why would you want the amendment retracted if it gave you more money? Wake up the next morning to a huge jump in my bank account. Your company immediately invoiced this company and they turned around and paid the invoice. Overnight? A large financial services company didn't have their legal department dispute 2 years' worth of pay to one consultant? This company wanted to keep a consultant that just tried to screw them out of 2 years' worth of payments?
Damn.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.